Welcome back, Grove Park. I'm Mrs. Allen, and I'm going to be your music teacher this year. Here's the sequence of what will happen when you come to music class. You will stand spaced apart in line with your class on the sidewalk outside my room. I will welcome you and call your number to come inside and sit down on the same number you have in your classroom. No questions should be asked when entering the room. Wait until you get to your seat, raise your hand, and wait till I'm free for questions. I will give everybody some hand sanitizer before we start class, and then we will begin. Clay County School District has mandated that everyone is required to wear a mask at school. This is the music sanitation station. We will talk more about this later in this video. Pay attention to what the signs say. An item that is in quarantine cannot be used by anyone until 3 days have passed. So for example, if Miss Muffley's class uses some of the pencils from my classroom before leaving, they need to be put into the quarantine bin, and nobody can use them until 3 days have passed. We need to practice social distancing while we're at school. All of Clay County and our surrounding counties in the state of Florida are in the process of practicing social distancing everywhere we go. I'm sure you've seen these signs in the store. So once again, when it's time to come into the room, I will call your number and you will go inside and find your number on the floor and sit down. I will give you some hand sanitizer for your hands before we begin class. Whenever you come to music class, you'll need your Chromebook, a pencil pouch with at least 2 pencils, and maybe 2 erasers. Here's a sequence of what will happen when it's time to leave music class. You'll remain seated until I call your number to come line up. If you had to borrow a pencil from me, you will need to place it in the quarantine container. If you used a clipboard in my classroom, you'll need to place it in either to be cleaned crate or the quarantine crate. You must remain seated until your number is called. You will walk outside onto the sidewalk and find a gator to stand next to. Students will not be allowed to have jobs within the classroom at this time because the county has mandated that we shouldn't be sharing items. When your number is called, if you borrowed a pencil, place it in the quarantine bin. And if you used a clipboard, you can put it in the needs cleaning bin or the quarantine bin. I will let you know which one to use. You will go outside once I call your number and stand next to a gator until your teacher arrives. Here's some examples of some items that cannot be cleaned with the solution that the county has provided. So we will not be using musical instruments at this time. These are items that can be quarantined after use. When you walk outside, if you're the first person in line, look for this sign that shows you where to stop and wait for your teacher. It'd be good to get into the habit of using paper towels to open door handles. Make this a habit everywhere you go. Even when you're in the bathroom turning on the sink, it's a good idea to use a paper towel. We know that our school rules are still consistent with what they were last year. We follow the G3 way. Be respectful, use appropriate voice levels, follow all adult directions the first time, be attentive. Be responsible, notify an adult if help is needed, listen to and focus on the speaker. Keep your hands and feet to yourself and practice all the social distancing we've discussed. The music rules and expectations. M, maintain self-control. U, utilize your time while you're in music class. S, stay in your seat. I, use intentional kindness towards your teacher and classmates. And C, concentrate on the task. Consequences for poor choices. I will give you a warning, and the second time I have to speak to you, I will write a behavior note home to your parents. After you get 3 behavior notes for the same behavior, I will write a referral. And if the behavior continues beyond that, I will either schedule a parent-teacher conference or make a phone call home to your parents. Rewards. We're going to do the same thing we did last year, have a competition between rows. Whichever row has the most tally marks at the end of class time will be the winning row. I'll pick somebody to be the scorekeeper, and that will be our competition.